Oh, my giant head. It's huge. Yeah. I'm back with my giant head. You can zoom out. Zoom out of my giant head. Alright. God, I look old. Gray hair and all. Gray hair and all. I'm back with another painting. So for this one, this music's too loud. I'm always dealing with this. Who knows? Anyways, so for this one, I had a little bit of inspiration from the movie Incredibles 2. So watching it with my daughter, and there's a scene where the dad is Mr. Incredible studying, and I think it's rad. He's studying at night, so it's kind of that same kind of feel, but I just kind of did my own interpretation of my daughter and I studying or learning or something. So I just did the rough sketch offline just so you wouldn't have to be put through that. I spent a little bit of time just trying to figure it out. It looks a little bit of a mess, but you can see how I drew through things. I drew on different layers so I can move them around. So if I wanted to move the chairs around, I can definitely move the chairs around, blah, blah, blah. And also if I made a mistake, I can, move her around and just do some more composition kind of stuff. Anyways, so yeah, so here's the drawing. It's pretty simple. I just did some shapes in the background. I don't really know what I'm going to do until that's done, but I'm just going to dive right in and start painting, really. So I'm going to put all these drawings on one layer. What's this other one? Dapper Dude? I was just kind of messing around with painting and just drew a Dapper Dude. There's a Dapper Dude for you. For this, I was just messing around with not using the marquee tool to do the shapes. I was just freehanding the shapes, and it looks all right. It creates a little more of a natural edge. If you see the edge of right here, these edges are a little more rough. I'll zoom really far and see how it's all nice and rough. It's just a different look. I might try to do that for this one, just to mess around. Because, hey, why not? Why the heck not? All right, so I'm not doing Dapper Dude. I'm drawing this, which is one of the daughter and I. Kind of. Roughly us. We'll see. Anyways, I'm going to drop this opacity down a little bit. Kind of get a better feel. So yeah, I'll start with her. Why not? Let's start with her. All right, here we go. So I'm gonna do this I'm gonna do this a little differently. I'm gonna do it with brushes instead and see if that kind of changes anything. So I need to work back to front. So the first thing will be her legs, which you probably won't even be able to see. But instead of using the marquee tool like I've been doing, if you've watched any of my other ones, I'm actually going to draw the shapes by hand. Just to see if I like the way it looks. Yeah. And so now I just got to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. And then I'll do the body. Now all this is going to get covered by the table. I really don't need to do this, to be honest. And I am a little worried if I'm using this tool that it's going to be a little too grainy. It's a little grainy. It's not as I guess when you zoom far out, it doesn't really matter. We'll just keep going. I'll do her and see how it looks. All right, and then I'm going to do the head now. If I'm doing it this way, I can actually just keep choosing arbitrary colors. Actually, the hands will go first. So we got the hands like this. And this hand here. And thumbs are inside. See, I don't know if it's gonna work for this because this brush is so big. It's easier for me to select the marquee tool for these. I'll show you what I mean. If I use this, I can just choose the shape, see, like that. And go like that. I should probably put an extra finger on her. So I'm putting the thumb. I might refine this a little bit later. We'll see. So I'm kind of deciding what I want the shape to be. Jeez, what the heck did I just do? Alright, sorry, going back. There we go. Now I can do this. There's the hands, there's that. Let's do the back of the hair now. I'm going to ditch the doing it by hand method. And I'm not going to see this because this is actually going to be behind everything. So I'll make sure I put this behind everything. She has her ears. Ears. And now I'm doing the head. Actually, I can do these ponytails first. So the hair behind the ponytails. We put our daughter's hair in like these like little ponytail looking things that kind of look like this. Just two little twisty things just to get it out of her hair. I think it looks cool. You can go ahead and be the judge of that. And then I'm going to do a little twisty, like a little tie thing on it. So it'll look like this on top of the shape. This one's a little too big, so I'm cutting into it. And then filling it like that. Okay, and then I do the head. I always kind of work in a circle like that just so I can make sure I get the head shaped the way I want it. See, I don't like that little scraggly thing, so I'm going to start it again. Too big. It's kind of hard. Circles are hard, guys. In class, they used to make us just draw circles over and over and over again. I remember having pages and pages of circles. Which sounds like a lot of fun and money well spent on your college career drawing circles, but it actually did help. There we go. And then selecting this head, I'm going to choose the... So I'm going to take this chunk out like this, and then I make that part of the hair. You can kind of tell what I'm doing. I'm making sure that I keep the edge, that edge the same. I'm going to do it for that side of the hair. And actually, since her eyes are underneath her hair, I'll need to create that too, so let's do that. One eye. Two eyes. And a nose, which I could just do color. There we go. And again, these aren't, like, if you're new to this, these aren't the colors that I'll be using. I just pick these arbitrary colors because then I repaint them. These are merely just the shapes that I'm drawing to... Wait, did I not? Okay, there we go. Make sure I lock this layer here. I'm going to get rid of the body shape and that shape. And I'm going to redo these with the lasso. There we go. It's actually a little bit quicker. And again, you're not going to see this part of the body, but I just like doing it anyways. Just because I know that it's there. So I need to make sure that this and the legs are behind everything. This is the whole thing with these layers that I've talked about before. You just got to make sure everything's in order. Alright, so there she is, and I'm just going to start painting her actually, just to see if this video will be a little more exciting if I'm just kind of doing this. Instead of doing all the shapes and then doing all the painting, I'll just kind of do shapes and paint, shapes and paint. So if you jump in somewhere, it'll be mildly entertaining. Mildly entertaining. Right, here we go. Let's just start with some hair colors. So what I normally do is turn off the drawing layer just so I can see what I'm working with here. Little buddy, and then let's get some hair. Her hair is brown. And I forgot how small this is. I'm actually really zoomed in, so. And I can always get reminded when as soon as I pick my brush. You'll see how big this brush looks now. It looks freaking huge. Now this hair layer needs to be behind her actual back. Like that. Yep. Make it a little bit lighter here. Yeah, I know I could change the brush size than the default, but I'll do it sometimes. The reason for that is I like to still kind of treat it as if I was painting for reals. And although you can, yes, you can get a different brush. This would probably be a pretty small brush in reality. I don't think I would get any smaller than this. There we go. Doing some hair business here. There we go. I'll do the same with this up here. All choosing the same brown color. Just kind of fill it in. I like to try to do the brush strokes in the same way the hair is moving. So as you can see, like for the hair up here, I went this way and then I did it this way. Just using the brush texture as a way of informing like which way stuff's moving and direction and texture. Yeah. And I don't normally do pink things in the hair, to be honest. Actually, let me save this. But she does look cute with pink stuff in her hair. Not gonna lie. So I'll just do just a little. There we go. And then we'll do skin color, which is always the hard part for me, at least. Let's see. This might be a little too pink, but we'll see. Yeah, once we start painting it, it gets darker really quick. There we go. Just kind of lightly, because there would be shadows. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll add a little more rosier, like cheek. I mean, that might work. I don't know if that looks like a rash. Looks a little bit like a rash, but see with Photoshop I can kind of move it up, so I'll just move it up. She's She looks like a zombie with her hands out like that. Pretty cool. Okay, now I'm doing her ears, eventually, if I choose the right layer. There we go. And sometimes I'll do the ears the same color as I do those cheeks, just to make them a little rosy. We'll see how this looks here. I don't know why I choose to make ears look rosy, but I do. And then same with where I did her cheeks, I will add another layer and do her nose. Makes this a little bit smaller. Maybe just a little circle. Or just over her bridge like that, maybe. Yeah, that's pretty good. Again, I'm so zoomed in, and not really going to be able to tell. I will choose her skin color and see if this works when it comes to making this line here. Again, I don't like to use black ever, really, unless I really, really have to. Like using, so like this, I'll use this pink color. Gives it a little something. I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll keep going. Always good at adjusting after the fact. Coloring in the eyes now. I'll add a little bit of shadow. I mean, I don't really do it too much. And I want her looking up at me. So I'll create these kind of big eyeballs. And she does have brown eyes, as far as I can tell. So I might just keep them that way. Normally I do contrasting eyes because of the hair, but let's keep it a little real. I don't want it to mix with her hair, that's the only problem. So that might be enough. Again, it's so zoomed in. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't like her hair back here, so what I'm going to do is move this around. And again, the beauty of Photoshop is, watch, I can just move it. Whatever I want to do. I just don't think I like the shape of the hair. I feel like it'd be more back here if it was anywhere. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is add a little bit of texture or actually some detail work to her hair. So I will do it right outside the hair layer. I choose the hair color, and then I normally choose this brush, which is really, it looks really big. What is this music? What is going on?
I don't want to be somebody's crush. I want people to like the real me.
I'm doing the very top layer here. And I just put a little bit of scragglies here and there, kind of sticking out, or flyaways. I don't really know if it adds too much, but I like doing it. And sometimes I'll even add like a couple of like detail lines like that. Just a little bit of highlights in the hair. And since this is like a twisty like this, I'll make a little twisty highlight. That to kind of indicate that the hair is twisting around itself. I think this is probably not the best, so I'm kind of erasing that a little bit. Yeah. Looks pretty good. I do not like this hair right here, so I'm going to fix the shape of this hair before it gets away from me here. Meaning I can just delete that, and then I don't know if that's any better, to be honest. Just bigger, maybe not so jagged. I could just do one solid piece like that, and Do the same with this side. That looks all right. And then I can cut out little pieces like this. That's all right. I'll keep it. So now to work on something besides her zombie arms. Her face is a little... Let me try some dark eyes here. That's what I'm going to try. So I'm going to keep the same shape, different layer. Turn those ones off. So I'm going to do like a super dark brown, just to see. It might make the eyes pop a little bit. I don't know. What do you think? The darker eyes pop off a lot more. I'll keep them for now. I will keep them from now. I'll add a little bit of texture to them by doing that. Hey, Lorna. How's it going? You're back. I know you were on a trip because I Facebook watched you be on your trip, or it was Instagram, or one of those. One of those apps, I totally spied on you, like I do everybody else, like a creepster. Like a creepster. I just can't help it. I'm kind of addicted, to be honest, to social media. I'm not gonna lie. And I kind of feel like I need to stop a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm taking this little bit of this color away. I don't know how that got there, but it did. Yeah, I find myself looking at it all the time. I'm in that trap of you start to like compare yourself to other people and what they're doing. That's hard. It's a whole new world. You never really had to do that when I was younger. Back in my day, yeah, her skin looks all right. It looks a little purpley. I don't know. I think that'll work for now. And her ears kind of disappear a little bit in this background, but as soon as I put the real background behind it, I think it'll pop off. So I'm not too worried about it. I do need to give her some kind of let's see here. A little bit of texture on these arms. It's more for the fingers, really. I'm just gonna do it up like she got sunburned big time. But again, it's a lot of just kind of going over and over and back and forth. And then what I do here is now you'll see I will chop off where I want her sleeves to be, which are going to be like there and there. And then I will make a nice purpley shirt here. I got to get that other arm. I got to get that arm behind. That's what I got to do. So I'm actually going to get rid of that. Get rid of this and for this. Copy and delete that arm because that arm now needs to live behind everything. For easy use, I can just literally put it all the way in the back. And there's her other arm. Because she's going to be kind of twisted in the drawing. Again, see how far I'm zoomed out? I don't know why I'm working so close, but there it is. So her hands are going to be... Actually, her hands are going to be on the table which means both her arms. That's going to be tough. Because layer-wise, it has to live behind her body but in front of the table. So I'm going to do some weird like masking business, I think. If that makes sense. Anyway, so let me just work on this then. Just so we have something. Skin tone again. Make sure it's there. There. It's kind of hard to see because the drawing's in the way. Turn off the drawing. There we go. Her shirt will be behind everything, so I can at least make her shirt whatever I want it to be, which is going to be this purpley, pinky. I think I'm going to fix the shape of this too, because again, you're not going to see any of this really. You're going to see a little bit of it. And it's so dang close. Oh, I was using the wrong brush. There we go. Yeah, because that's all going to be under the table. Same with her pants, so I'm just going to kind of lightly fill them in with a color. You will see her shoes, though. So I'm going to do it as if she was wearing jeans or something. They're all going to be kind of dark because it's all living under the table. So I'll just kind of do that. I'm going to choose this level and do this where I give her some shoes. So I'm cutting, leaving just her shoes. And then she does have these Converse that are like black and gray, so I'm just going to make some black shoes here. And then within that, I'm going to do some details just with this light gray, just real quick. Again, these will hardly be seen, but at least I can do a little bit of detail now, and I don't have to worry about it after. There we go. A couple little shoes. Still not really sold on this mouth and nose thing as well. I'm going to take a little bit of it away. I don't know. It's such a small thing, but... And also, I kind of want to have a little piece of her hair kind of coming down like this. So I'm going to do that. And it should be already painted underneath, so that's good. And I'll do the same with this side, but a little bit higher like this. Oops. So I choose that. I'm just adding another little shape here. So I don't want to take it away, I want to add. There, so now she got a couple little scragglers in her face, like she does in real life. Alright. Looks pretty good. Alright, I'm gonna move on. Move on, not to Dapper Dude. I'm gonna move on to the me. The me part of it. It's freaking hot in here. Excuse me for a sec. Oh my god. I'm such an old man. I'm too old. Alright, here we go. Now I'm going to work on my guy. My guy. Talk about my guy. I name this layer that Nono's on. You see, there it is. There's a turning on and off. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty quick. And then now I work on him. So let's see, back to front. So I made him like a big giant shape, basically. Him being me. Let me get a better view of it in the screen here. It's a big like C shape. I like the idea of that because I am a large dude. He will have a shirt detail down here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'll start with the shoes and the pants. That's where I always start. So it will be because he's gonna have the same problem with the table. I'm gonna have to mask out the table. That's what it's gonna have to be. All right. So this leg first with this shoe. I'll just kind of do them all at once. Nice. Again, pick my two arbitrary colors and then fill. And then this next one's pretty big, so I could just do this. Yep, let's stick with that. There are the legs. And then on top of said leg will be, let's do the shoe first. So I got pants on, so it'll be, I'm cutting out what I want the shoe to be. And there you go with that. And then I can do it with this one now. And cut out where the shoe's going to be. And do that. Now I got to draw the big shape for the body. So the body will go like this all the way, nope, this all the way around. It's kind of a good shape right there. It's not like the drawing, so let me make it a little more like the drawing. I don't want to deviate too far away from it because I like the way it looked for a reason. And I don't want it to look stilted. I want it to look, I'm actually going to rotate the canvas here. It's just so I can use the natural bend of my wrist to kind of get this nice and round. That looks pretty good. And then you will have like this shirt here, so I'm going to make sure I got the shirt part of it. Cut it out like that. Everything else is kind of inside. The sleeves rolled up will be its own shape, so that looks about right. I know it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to think of drawing in this way, but I'm going to turn this up a little bit so I can see it. Go back to this. All right. The blue's a little harsh. But behind, the hands will be in front, so they'll be last. So behind it, the first thing I got to do is the hair. And this all lives behind. Now you can see, and then the ears go in front of the hair, like so. And actually, I'm going to ditch this blue color because it's a little too much. There we go. Then the ears. Well, to be honest, the hair needs to sit on top. Yeah, the hair needs to sit on top of the head. So I like the hair, so I'm going to keep it and move it to the top. And what I'll do is I'll just make sure I cut it out right. So now I got to do stuff like this. And I'm cutting that part out. Boom. There we go. Did it. Let me fill this in. And then behind all that is where I got to have the head. So again, now I can draw this my giant head. First try. There we go. Everything I'm doing now is behind the head, so that's good. So then I can do this, just kind of my go-to beard shape. And then I have my eyes. And there's the nose shape. And the mouth shape. There we go. Look pretty good. And then above the hair, I'm doing the eyebrows. My giant caterpillar eyebrows. I mean, the reality is I probably should draw them closer together because they attach. But for this kid's drawing, we'll keep them nice and away from each other so they don't fight. Okay, and then from now we're going to do some arm action. So normally it looks like the book is behind, so I got to do the book. Actually, these pages are first. So I'm going to do some pages. So those are the pages of the book, and then this is the book itself. Again, I'll pick just a different color just so I can see it a little bit. And then the arms go, especially this one. So it goes like this, and then his thumb kind of goes behind. And then what I'm going to do is leave it and then that way I can cut out the fingers like this. Looks a little gentle giant-ish. And then the sleeve is its own little shape thing. Like that. There we go. And then for this one, for this arm, I think what I'm going to do is select this whole thing and take it out of it, if that makes sense. Subtract what I want, because I want to have the roundness of it. So now I'm going around. This part is probably really confusing if you don't know how Photoshop works, but there you go, boom. I just wanted to keep the arch of the arm, of the back to the arm. I wanted to keep that line perfectly symmetric, perfectly flush with it. So you'll see, I keep using my hands, but you'll see like I want it to run down and to be seamless, not have a jump. So since I chose the shape behind it, it's going to share the exact same pixels So right here, it'll just flow nice and even. But the texture on the shirt will be different. That's how the shirt works. Where your shoulders are, there's a seam in your shirt. I'm going to cut these guys out. And I got big fat fingers. Perfect. Do that, and then the shape of the sleeve again, which is just a big square. Alright, I think we're close to painting here. Enough of this boring, weird, colored dude. I can just get to it. So let's do it. It looks so weird out of context. You see the drawing, I mean, because normally his body, honestly, the body would go way over here. But the table's gonna cover it, and you'll see that. So without it, it looks really weird. Kind of looks like Quasimodo a little bit, which is what I feel like sometimes. Okay. So normally, I have this red plaid shirt that I wear all the time. I think that's what I'm going to do this in. So let's actually I'll do some jeans first. Go to my jean color. Is that really the size of the brush? What? I'm checking to see what pixel I'm doing this at. Oh, it is 300. Oh. This must have been really small. A tight drawing. Alright, now I'm doing his jeans. Again, going with the flow of the pants for now. I'm doing that because that's what the shadow is, and then there should be a shadow under here. But I mean, the whole thing's going to be pretty dark because it's all under a table. But I am going to do a little bit of cheating and put like a little bit of a highlight here to make it separate from behind. I'm kind of jumping back and forth from light to dark. You'll see that to kind of find the nice little balance there. There wouldn't normally be a highlight under there, but again, we're not going for realism here. That's what this one is too, so I'll make sure I put a highlight there. There we go. Genie enough. This one I'm just going to select the whole thing and pick a nice red. Orangish kind of red. Yeah. I mean, I start really light normally because when I start filling with color, it gets dark very quickly. So I'm going to kind of follow this art. Show it kind of goes like this. And then, I don't know, I could go this way, like this. Let me see if this is kind of a natural way of doing it. Yeah, looks alright. Kind of looks plattish. And then what I can do is I'll go over this like this with some darkness. And darkness under here, maybe under the arm a little bit, definitely under his neck. Just a couple passes. And then I'll do this part, which is, I guess I could do it like that. Keep it, because this, normally I would do two different shapes, but since this arm is being separated by this, by the sleeve that's rolled up, that's what those big squares are, it's when you roll up your sleeves. I'm going to keep it like that. We'll see. So then if I kind of do the same thing with this, what I should do is at least set some boundaries here. That's just a selection tool that I'm using so I can set boundaries to make sure I don't paint the rest of the arm. So if I do this and kind of keep the same pattern, it might look like a little bit the same. Might look. I'm putting some highlights here to make that pop a little bit. That's pretty good. And then I'll do the same thing to this side. I just kind of select that. Oops. There we go. And then do this again. And kind of keep the lightness. Actually cheat and do a little bit of lightness on both sides. I should do it a little bit lighter. Start over. Trying to make sure I get some of this kind of pattern like that. There we go. And I gotta do it for this guy. What is happening? Oh, the selection. The dummy. There we go. Then I got to figure out how I'm going to do this to make this look a little... I could just do it darker like that. Actually, it looks all right. Normally I do it way darker or way lighter. But for this, I chose darker. But I could put a little bit of a highlight down here. You'll see me kind of lightly do it to pop it off the back. Same with this. There we go, back here. Kind of want to make sure I keep that pattern, like I said, like it kind of looks a little bit plattish. So if I kind of just keep going back and forth, it kind of naturally creates that. I'm going to put a tough time at this one. There we go. Make sure it stays dark up there. There we go. A little bit of a highlight on that side. And now I can do the arms, the skin for the arms. I mean, that reads. I think it reads. Let's see what it looks like with the kid next to me. Yeah. Here's the drawing on top. Yeah. That's good. I'm liking it. Actually, it's good. Probably I should leave her up. I mean, my skin is a little darker than my daughter's. On the reel. I never say on the reel, so I don't know why I was saying that. Trying to find a nice darker color that doesn't make me look dead. But it's weird when you're looking at color, especially for people's skin. It's weird because it is a little yellow. It's a little yellow. It's a little orange. People always think red and pinks for skin color, but it's really, your skin's really not pink, really. It's almost more yellow. But you know, for illustration, you can. I mean, it could be whatever you want, but you tend to over-exaggerate things, or you have a little more. You get to choose what you want it to be. Have a little more fun with it. Not to sound like Bob Ross, but you can play around with it. So this looks pretty good. Because when it starts to get dark, it definitely looks a little bit more olive, like how my skin is. A little. Not much. I'm trying to make it pop off here. It's the hard part. It looks like it's kind of blending with everything. I definitely need to make this book a dark color. Let's see how this looks with the daughter's skin. Make sure it doesn't blend in with it. I mean, if it's really dark, then it would work. The fact that I got to keep it light, that's the problem. I could do it just around where her face is. I don't want to overwork it. I don't know. Going back and forth here. This is where composition comes into play too. Like, I might just have to move her if these colors aren't going to work like this. Let's see. It kind of works. You can make this arm just a little darker too. I mean, I'm not normally that dark, but let's do it. In the book, I got to keep really dark. So I'm going to make this dark, kind of bluish color. There we go. Now it really pops off the hands. I'll do a little bit of texture on it. There we go. White pages, hello. Texture, a little darker on the outside, light on the inside. There. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I have black hair. Don't care, but I normally do it like I'll do a gray. Like I said, each time I do a pass, it's going to get darker and darker. I actually like the gray because I do have gray in my hair, so I will come back a little, almost like a highlight. Nice, nice. That kind of looks like my hair. That and when I do my eyebrows, it's a weird thing. Because, let's see. Yeah, it's right here. So my eyebrows are also black, but I always draw my eyebrows over my hair. So it's always a problem that I have when I'm painting myself normally. Pick this kind of red rosy color like I did on No No, and kind of I'll put it on my cheeks a little bit. You won't be able to see them because I got to do the beard, and the beard will be the same as the hair but way lighter. Let's see here. Let's see how this looks. Normally I just do it one direction like that, just to some more highlights back in, do a little lighter, a little pass, and then do another pass of dark again. Yeah. I'll make it a little darker under. There we go. And the eyes. There we go. Again, I'll add a little bit of texture on them. Let me do the ears real quick. Look how fast this is going, guys. It's going fast. Okay. And my eyebrows will be... Maybe I'll do the eyebrows the same color as my beard. And see if it's a different enough color. And it kind of is. It would be cool if my eyebrows were gray. That would be dope. I would love that. I just want to go gray so bad. Well, more gray. And then, let's see, I'm going to be looking at her, so I need to create, you know, my eyes that will be like that. And my eyes are also brown, so I'm going to do them this dark brown as well. It's almost a gray, but as soon as I do this, there we go. Looks pretty good. Don't hate it. Oops. Trying to get the nose here. On the lips. Which I'll do the same as the skin color. Just until it gets dark. Alright, let's back away. Let's see how this looks. Looks pretty good. Even my shoes. Miscolored shoes. I like navy blue shoes, so let's just do that. Did I do them on two separate? No, I'm a dummy. Doesn't matter. Alright. Kind of paint them a little bit. Keep them light, maybe. Again, they're under a table, so it doesn't really matter. And then I can do the small detail thing like I like to do, which is just put like a soul on it. And then sometimes I'll even do like a little bit of that. Again, this is all such small details, it does not matter how close I'm getting them, because I'm zoomed out so far and they're under the table. That looks pretty good. The nose is a little weird because it's living on the beard. I don't know if I should move it or if I should just make it a little tighter, which is I think I'm going to do. Kind of cut it out a little bit so it's not even going under where the beard is. Because I do have an upturned nose. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to add some details to the hair now, which is the like the little scragglies. This brush feels really big. And I have a lot more scragglies than No probably does. So I'm an old man. I don't even have like hair here, so I'm going to do like the classic hair on my forearms. I even have hair coming out of my ears, guys. Let's be honest here. I do. That's what happens when you get old. I actually had to take my shaver to my ears. It was a sad day. It was funny to me, but it was sad at the same time. All right. Looks pretty good. I mean, I think the contrast level is good. So I'm going to do that trick that I may have showed you before, which is a black and white. Just makes everything black and white. That way you can see when it comes to color if anything's being kind of hidden. Because this is what hue does and value. So like a red and a blue can actually be the same value, where once you turn it black and white and gray, it reads the same. And so that's what this is doing. It's kind of putting a filter over it to make it look black and white. You can see there's a little bit maybe here that gets lost, where his face and the shirt kind of become one, but I'm not mad at that. It's all right. I mean, the book pops off, the arms pop off, and the eyes, which are the most important thing, looking at each other, and even the eyebrows kind of pop off a little bit. So color-wise, I think that's pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. So what else do I got here? Yeah, so here's the drawing. So I should probably do the table now, and then the light and stuff. Because I have a feeling I'm going to have to color on top of them when I start doing the lighting effect, if I really want like the light to bounce off the top of my shirt and off the top of her head from the light coming down from this lamp to really sell it. But we'll see. I might not. I might just do everything that's not in this. Everything that's in the light, I'll do it in color, and everything in the back, I can just switch it to black and white. Might create the same effect. All right, so let's do this table. So I'm just going to do the table. I want to turn this, but I'm actually going to turn the canvas. Turn the canvas. And I can actually dump these two guys. And then do this table. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that. And the table actually has to live in front of everybody, which is crazy to think. That's how I'm going to do this. So there's the table, and I actually should have done the legs first, but since the table, I already drew it. It's a done deal. Alright, and I'm doing the legs now. Kind of cutting into that one. And there should be another leg. And it would live right here. I'm trying not to mess with the composition, because that's not actually live behind him. And all those other ones can live in front. So I will just ditch that leg for now. And knowing me, I'll probably forget it. And then when it comes to perspective, I feel like this one kind of needs to be shorter. Thinking about where the legs live in real space. Again, there's some things that I get weird about when it comes to the reality of it. Like, I'll bend some perspective stuff, but for this table, I feel like it needs to be kind of spot on. So this leg in the middle should be the biggest, should be the longest, because it's closer to you, and then as the stuff goes away, it gets smaller and smaller. It's basic perspective. And since I don't know if these two legs will be on the same plane, but they're probably not. One's probably further back, so one actually a little bit smaller than the other one. It's a little less than you probably don't need on perspective, but there you go. All right, so what was the table? Looks a little wobbly. The legs look a little weird, but I can straighten them out. All right. This is just going to be your basic wood table, so I'm not going to spend too much time picking color. Just painting the legs of the table. I'm going to put a little bit of shadow underneath for sure. I'm going to put a shadow running down the length of the leg. Really doesn't matter. And then this, the top of the table. Kind of filling it in with color right now, and then I get the there we go. And then the edge will be a little darker. I don't think it'll be lighter. No. This top part would probably be lighter because the light is hitting the table. So I'll make sure that this kind of stays light. Go back over again with dark. There you go. A little bit more light, a little bit dark. It's pretty good. All right. Instant table. Just like that. Bada bing, bada boom, table. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, now I need to figure out how I'm going to make them look like they're sitting at the table. I need to mask out some stuff. So I need to cut out some of the tables, what I'm saying, to make it look like their arms are sitting on the table. I think this is probably going to be the best way to do it, I think. So if I don't think I can do that. So what I'll do is this. And I start actually cutting away at the table. It looks like I'm erasing it, but I'm not. This is the mask layer. So actually what I'll do is I will kind of fake this a little bit. So I'm trying to just get his arms on here, and I'm doing it a little bit more than I need to. And you'll see why. So now with this mask, I painted on it. I'm painting it black. So once I paint it white, it'll start hiding it again. So what I can do is I can go in real close. I'm kind of just making sure that all the table pieces are getting erased. I can either use the lasso tool or I can paint in. And sometimes I like to paint in just because it's a little more gradual. So you'll see as I'm painting it back in, I can stop right here at the edge. And I'm making sure, and it looks like I'm not really doing much. I'm actually painting the table back in. And you'll start to see that. This probably isn't the best brush to be doing this with. It's a good brush for when I'm doing it against the skin, but once I get this line, I can probably just fill it in solid. And I don't know. Cutting in the book. And now I'm going around the kids' hands, the fingers, so they look like they're on the table and not just floating. There's the edge of the table again. I know it looks like magic. It looks like I'm painting this brown, but I'm really not. I'm painting white on the mask layer, and it makes it so you can see whatever I'm painting. It's letting you see what's on that layer again. So there we go. So now what I'm going to do is, like, I'm just going to start filling in with white, so it's not so pixelated, because you can see it's a little pixelated. We'll see. I might go back in and do this for the whole thing, but I think this will work. See right here where her arm is, I need to make sure I fill that in. And now filling this in. This part's probably really boring to watch. I'm sorry, guys. I don't really know what else to say except to start repeating myself. So instead you can just listen to the music and chill out, kind of see what's going on. All right, let's take a look. Yep, worked. See, now it looks like they're on the table. And that was just me cutting out. So if I disable this layer mask, you'll see the tables in front. And as soon as I enable what I just did, boom. It looks like I painted it on top, but I didn't. It's actually just cut out perfectly next to their skin and to the arms and stuff. So it looks like they're sitting there. It looks like they're floating because I don't have the chairs yet, but I like it. What am I at? An hour 12? Might stop here in a second. Finish up the background and stuff tomorrow or on Wednesday. All right. Let's do the chairs and then I'll call it. So let's do her chair, which is behind everything. There we go. So I can turn them all off and just do the chair. So how does this chair work? We have this leg, and there's a leg behind. This leg is also behind. Actually, I can probably do all these legs just like this. Yeah. And then actually behind that, I can do this. This one, this one. Actually, I'll do the ones way far behind. This again will be a detail that I think will be lost. And then this one. Then back to the top layer where we have this guy. These are, I modeled these after the actual chairs we have, which are these large bar stool chairs. That make it extra scary when my daughter is up on them. Yep, so there's those. Then there's this back wooden panel piece. It's another piece. There is a piece, then there's this seat part. That's pretty good. There is these parts, so I'm going to do this real quick. Okay. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to do, instead of doing one chair at a time, I'm going to do both. And then, so yeah, so let's do this. Mm-hmm. Do 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 do. I don't think anybody's watching, so that's good. I don't feel pressure to talk. And all this other stuff gets lost, so I'm not even going to draw it. I'm going to just do the seat. Because even that gets lost. Here we go. And then I can knock off the drawing. It looks so janky without any of the stuff on it. I don't know if I should clean it up or not. I kind of don't want to. I could use the straight marquee tool, which does a perfect straight line, but I don't know. There's something about imperfect lines that I like. And it makes it feel a little less computery. A little more hand-drawn. Alright. So these are going to be the same as like the table, I feel. So then I can just kind of do this guy. Just do these guys a little bit darker, and then the one in the back even darker than that, if that's possible. So what I might do for this one is just lighten this one up a little bit. That actually doesn't make sense because that leg should be behind. Because I did these on their own. So let's see what it looks like. Let's move it up. There, that's fine. Accomplishes the same thing. I can actually even go here and lasso cut out this. That's even a little better. Actually, this light doesn't make any sense right here. That is hilarious. Yeah, this leg doesn't make any sense. This leg actually needs to be like over here. There we go. Just perspective wise, that is. So then I can take this and I'll just kind of chop that like that. I know it's weird. It seems like it doesn't make sense, but it does. There we go. Trust me, it makes sense perspective-wise. And then this is also brown. Sorry guys, I'm not talking that much. I should probably just fast forward in this video anyways. Guess I should feel less pressure to have to talk. And then these seats are actually like a yellowish orange. I'm gonna try this. See if these get dark enough. See if this gets dark enough to where, yeah. Yep, that's what they look like. If you want to buy them, you probably can't anymore. I think it was at Home Goods. Spoiler alert, Home Goods. Yeah, that works. Let's see what that looks like. Let's put these chairs in the chair folder. It's chairs. Dad, no. Table. We can almost move my chair over, which I think I will. How am I going to know where that ends? I don't know. Here we go. So I can kind of fit it under my butt a little more like that. Perfect. And she's standing on the chair. Oh my God, it worked. It totally worked. Almost like the table can move to the left a little bit, which I might do in the future, but because the mask will actually stay, so I could do it. I could unlock this and move this. See, the mask is going to stay. I don't want a tangent with her chair, so that might be good right there, actually. Boom! Did it again! We did it, guys. Save that. About to call it for the day. It's 5 o'clock. But I'm going to put this, like, we don't really have a round rug under there, but I like the round on the round, so I'm going to do it anyways. And it's kind of a reddish brown, so let's just kind of see about this orange. And then, you know, do the orange again. Yeah, see, just like that. That's all I really need to do. I do want to. I kind of want to put tassels under it, but I won't. And then under that, there should actually be a shadow. I normally do this, but let's see what I can do. I thought I just did straight up black. Like I said, I never do. But then I drop the opacity down. So that's when it starts to look Photoshoppy to me, when I start doing stuff like that. I almost just would rather it be, when I paint it, the opacity's down. I don't know. Maybe when the light's on, it'll look cool. We'll just leave it like that. All right, that's as far as I'm going to get today. I need to kind of move on. But yeah, I like it. Looks pretty cool. I'll do the light and all this stuff on Wednesday if I have time. But it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I like it. For a personal piece, it's kind of what we got going on. Here's the drawing. There's the non-drawing. I like it. It's cute. It's cute. All right. It's pretty good. All right. So I'm going to stop there. An hour and a half is pretty good. But I think that's going to be it for now. Hey, Amy. So Amy just jumped in. No, I wanted to do a thing of, I was watching The Incredibles, and there's a part where Mr. Incredible is like studying math or something. But I like the idea of like studying with your kid, so it's just us. I might add some more stuff on the table. But yeah, it's her and I. Me, a beast of a man, and my little tiny daughter. She normally stands on the chair like that on this big table that we have. It's just like that. Anyways, yeah, just for fun. But yeah, anyways, so that's going to be it for today. Kind of tired. I'm going to move on. But I'm going to do the background and the lighting on Wednesday if I'm around and available. But yeah, so there we go. There's the drawing again. There's that. Actually, it's kind of cool if I like doing this. I group all this together. And there's a painting. Here's the drawing. Again, it's all different colors. Because I had each one on a different layer just to figure out what I was doing. And then all of a sudden, there's that. So that's kind of the difference. Drawing. Yep. There you go. Congrats, Amy, on Amy got married. So congrats on that. Now it's immortalized in this video. So congratulations. And welcome back if you're back. If you're not, then you should be hanging out with your husband. But do something with your husband for the rest of your life. Do something with the rest of your life with him. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday, and I'll definitely finish this up. If not Wednesday, then Friday. Try to do some cool lighting effects. We'll see. Oh, what is it called? What is it called? Let's see what the delay is here. I could type it. Oh, I'm gonna type it. See. Some bull. That's how I read it. You probably didn't mean it that way, but that's how it came off, and that's awesome. That's how Sam is, my wife, when I talk about, I'm gonna go do my podcast. Yeah, this is some podcast. But yeah, Dexter's a good show. I'm guessing they watch Dexter and they talk about each episode. That's fun until the end when it's not fun anymore. But yeah. All right, Amy, thanks for watching. Thank everybody else for watching, and then anybody who's going to watch this in the future and scrub through. But yeah, this is where I'm going to stop. Again, here's the drawing. Let me zoom out a little bit. There's the drawing. This is what I got so far. Both combined. Kind of total when it's all done. But all right, I'll be back. Thanks again for watching, and bye.